Welcome to the Memorial University Engineering Graphics Lab. Today what I'd like to discuss is a little navigation with regards to creating a detailed drawing. So this is an introduction, and some of the learning outcomes will be looking at the properties of a model and editing those properties. We'll be looking at what smart dimensions look like versus model items or inserting model items. We'll be understanding and manipulating drawing dimensions, creating views, looking at display style, scale, center lines, tangent, edges, and notes. These are all the finishing touches, and of course always cross-checking our drawings at the end. So starting out, just like to open up the part, and the first thing we said was we're going to be looking at properties edit. So File, Properties, and under the Custom tab you can see we have a little typo there. What we are looking at, or under Project, would be the name of the graphics lab, so Engineering Graphics 1030. Under Item 2 is the description of our part, so the title of our part. And when you look in the title block, which we'll do momentarily, you will see where all of these fields are being entered. I also have the part number, so I'm typing in the information here, and that text will show up in our title block. So I'm interested in editing 1, 2, and 3. I'm also going to type in my initials, drawn by, so item 7, item 8, the date, and that's it for editing those fields. Once I say OK, those fields will be saved, and inside of the drawing I will be looking at the title block, and inside of the drawing I will have item 1, which is Engineering Graphics 1030, Housing Base 2, the part number, my initials, and the date. Going back into the objectives, some of the learning outcomes, what we want to look at are smart dimensions versus model items. So let's start out by looking at our part, and we will create a drawing just to simply navigate through some of this. So looking at smart dimensions under the model, I'm going to browse open documents and find my model, and all of my sketches should be, right-click Edit Sketch, should be fully defined. So these are smart dimensions. We've used them to define our sketch, and all of the smart dimensions used to make this part and the feature thicknesses and so on will be generated for us. So when we create a drawing, we will generate those. So right now, with my File, Properties already edited correctly, I'm going to say File, New, and this is a drawing in millimeters, so File, New, looking for the 1030 templates. I'm not making a part now, I'm making a metric drawing. And once I drop a view down under View Layout, I can ask for Standard 3 View. That's the part, and when that part comes in I get 3 standard drawing views, and this information under File Properties has been added for me. We want to talk about smart dimensions versus model items. So when I ask to insert model items, entire model marked for drawing, when I hit the green check mark, remember we're learning now the difference between model items and smart dimensions, and all of these dimensions which are appearing on our screen now, some of them we will use, some of them we will delete. All of these dimensions are the smart dimensions that we use to create the model, and the ones that we don't want we will simply erase. How do I know this is a smart dimension, or should I say how do I know this is a model item? Let's find out. Actually, is it a model item or is it a smart dimension? I've just inserted model items. Let's find out. Okay, so what's the difference in a drawing? When I click a dimension, this is a model item. It is controlling the model. I can change this number. If I hit 65 and I get this image, I'm going to rebuild, and now my part is 65. So this is a model item, but it is alive. It is controlling the size of our model. Inside a drawing, you also have smart dimensions, so you can put these dimensions in automatically. If I pick smart dimension, let me just move this view to make it a little clearer. I can drag these views apart. and let's put that back to 50, rebuild. If I insert a smart dimension, so smart dimension, I'd like to know what the difference in a drawing is between a smart dimension in a drawing and a model item. So again, if I double click, you know I'm going to have a spin box which allows me to edit that. I'm not going to edit this now. When I double click this dimension, nothing like a spin box appears. I can't change the geometry. All I see is a property manager. This is simply text. So inside of a drawing, the difference between a smart dimension, it's just text, but a model item using insert model items, entire model marked for drawing, will insert our dimensions and we can then manipulate them. So that's the difference between a smart dimension in a drawing versus a model item. Drawing dimensions can be manipulated, they can be edited and changed. In this case, I might want to delete that smart dimension. And I also want to manipulate and change my positioning of my dimensions. Sometimes I may want to drag a witness line. A witness line does not touch the part. You always want to be a certain distance away from the part edge. Another thing I can do is drag again and reposition my dimensions. Hit the arrow and that will move the arrow to the outside. Drag your witness lines in closer. You want those ideally to be just a millimeter or two away from the edge of the part. So that is covering off, manipulating some drawing dimensions. What about decimal places? When I pick a dimension, I can change the number of decimal places here. If there were a number of decimal places, this is truly 10. What if I select a smart dimension from edge to edge and I knew that this was not 2, because I will remember from my model that this was not 2. I believe it was a smaller value. So if I ask for a number of decimal places, we'll actually see that. Now we can globally change that at a later date. For now, be aware that you can simply click a dimension and change the number of decimal places of precision, as long as there is a decimal place after. Okay, and we talked about moving your arrows around, dragging your dimensions. We want to be placing the dimensions as they're shown in assignments. Don't just place them where you think they should go. There is a standard for all of this. We're going to make sure we have a lot of room for our dimensions and that dimensions don't overlap. We're not repeating dimensions and so on. So we'll be cleaning up our drawing after. I'd like to look at creating views. Now when I went into views, I selected standard 3 view. I can also project views. So if I delete a view, I can also drag my views. Notice they stay aligned. If I pick a view and ask for a projected view, you'll see what I get here is the right side view. If I want the left side view, if I want the bottom view, I have a top view, so I can drop that view down. So that is looking at creating views. I can also create an isometric view. So again, I can pick a model view for the housing, ask for an isometric view, and drop that down. So there's my isometric view. Under display style, I can ask for shaded with edges, hidden lines. I'll stick with shaded with edges. And I can change the scale on my views. Custom scale. Down here I can change that scale if I desire to make that a smaller scale. What is scale? Just quickly reviewing. Right down here we have the ability to change the scale. Later we'll see how we can edit that when we're creating our drawing, our final drawing. Just be aware that you can change your display style and change your scale when you pick a view. Come over, parent scale, sheet scale, custom scale allows me to manipulate those scale sizes of my views. And finally, I may want to add some tangent lines or show tangent edges. Let's just pick this view, and in this case, tangent edge is where you have a radius and you get a little projected line where there is a radius. So I'm going to right click this view and ask for tangent edges removed, and in this case it doesn't seem to want to work for us. Sometimes we'll have those problems with SolidWorks, little bugs. Right click, let's try that again, tangent edges removed. They are telling us that they're removed. We'll try that one when we do the final drawing and we will ask for a different view and make that attempt. Sometimes this happens in SolidWorks. And finally, what I'd like to do is I'm going to be adding notes. So if I pick on notes, I can pop a note down and start typing my note. And we'll do that in caps lock to make your drawing look like my drawing. So that is just a general overview of how we would create a detailed drawing and the options that we have within that. And finally, make your drawing look like the assignment and manipulate all of the dimensions into the proper positions. And thanks for watching.